Kevin is at the center of this, right? And he is like the centerpiece of it. And then you're building properties off of that and creating like a real entertainment business and so forth. How big is this platform that you guys are building? Like, what goes into this? I know there's the Boardroom, right? There's 35 Ventures, which is your venture arm. There's obviously the Nike business, which I feel like is probably its own thing and separate and takes a lot of time also. But just talk through like kind of everything that you touch and how big it is so people understand.
Yeah, I mean, it started with me being Kevin's manager, and anyone that manages an athlete or an artist of that size and that kind of caliber, it does come with a lot. So just Kevin alone, prior to building what we've been building, was helping him build and run his foundation. And now his mom and dad each have different parts of the foundation that they run. His father runs the Team Durant AAU organization. His mom runs the Durant Family Foundation and the Durant Center in PG County, but helping him build that and helping raise money for that. There's his Nike business, like you said, which has done over $100 million for the last 16 years. So, at some points over 200 million, at some points 150 million, but for the last 16 years, done over 100 million in sales. So that's a full, robust business in its own right. There's the movements and the on-court activity and dealing with the team. And then there's his brand deals and everything else that goes into play with Kevin. A lot of people do just do that. That's a full-time job. That's a full-time job. But, these athletes are as savvy as young businessmen and women as you're going to meet. And, they are drafted already wanting and aspiring for so much more that we were never going to stay right there. But what we didn't want to do is just create what we should create. And so many people copy. It amazes me how many people don't have original ideas, to be honest with you. It blows my mind. But, for us, it was like, all right, well, we don't know what we want to build yet. So let's not just build something. So we started investing. And obviously the proximity to Silicon Valley and the access that Kevin affords us. And I think the beauty of having someone like Kevin at the center is we always say that Kevin is the force behind everything we build, but he never had to be the face. And he didn't want to be. I think if he wanted to be, we could have just had 20 brand deals and the guy would have made an exorbitant amount of money. Yeah. But by investing, it really kind of gave us an understanding of everything that was happening, what innovation looked like, what great founders look like, where we could be strategic to a founder and to a business. So then we all of a sudden saw what our strengths were. And I think from there, we were able to identify what our storytelling vehicle would be. And we always had film and TV shows that we did. I think, that is always this like incredible ROI, right? You may not make as much money as you can make from all these other things, but when you see a show that you helped ideate or helped play a part in creating on a big screen or on a TV streaming service, it's a great feeling and it's a great way to extend your brand. But we needed a vehicle that we could storytell around and a brand that we could create that authentically embodied Kevin and I. And that's how Boardroom came about. But the investing really gave us that insight of who we were in some ways as businessmen and where we could make an impact. And the access and information, this just from being an investor, you learn so much.
Yeah. It feels like one, there's only a select number of athletes in the world that can do this, right? I think that it's becoming more common and maybe that is expanding and there's more and more every year. But the interesting thing I think, and I'm curious your opinion on, is like when I think of some of the other top platforms from production, from movies, from entertainment, from websites, whatever it is, that are run by athletes and entertainers, it feels more like it's being pushed by the athlete, right? And the thing that I think is unique about yours is I feel like it could be standalone and be successful, right? Like it doesn't feel like Kevin has put this massive stamp on it and that's why it's good.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also like in some ways, originally we did by default, because I think what the beauty of Kevin is that he doesn't just gratuitously push and promote everything that we do. And I think that's valuable. At times early on, I'd probably be like, come on, man, I need you to keep sharing this thing. But the truth is it allowed us to be able to build a brand that someone like you could say, hey, I think this could stand on its own. Yeah. And then sometimes I think it dawns on us like, oh, wait, we also have this like extra fuel we can put on this fire in the form of Kevin Durant. Like we're putting out his show again, the Et Ceteras on the platform. And I was sitting in the room the other day with our whole like video team. And I was like, could you imagine if I walked in here and I told you we were launching Steph Curry's show on our platform next week? Well, we're launching Kevin Durant's show on our platform next week. Regardless of the fact if he's my partner, like we got to get everything in motion now, and we got to lock in because we have one of the biggest athletes in the world with a show on our Boardroom network. Okay, wink, wink, he owns it. But at the same time, because he hasn't just pushed it every day the way maybe The Rock would if he was my partner, right?
Yep.
Or Shaq. Different style. So I think it's benefited us and it's allowed us to really find our voice.